Reject Finance Bill has given birth to Ruto legitimacy questions because he seemed out of control of his government.
A short response to William Ruto. Mr. William Ruto, Kenyans have rejected you.
DP has made it worse by telling Kenyans how national intelligence has failed to do its work.
Yet, there is an organization paid for by the public to brief the president and the government about the feeling of the Kenyan people. Officers of the National Intelligence Service, officers of the National Police Service have told me in confidence they did not get advance intelligence briefs about the magnitude of the protest in Eldoret, in Kericho, in Nairobi, in Githurai, in Embu, in Nyeri. Since independence, there has been protests around Parliament. Never have protesters invaded and gotten inside Parliament. Senior officers have told me in confidence they did not have an advance intelligence brief about the intensity of the protest so that they prepare in advance. The National Intelligence Service slept on the job. And the problem is simple. The Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Nuruddin Haji, was a junior officer in the National Intelligence Service before he was appointed as DPP. When he was appointed to the office of the Director General, because of inferiority complex, he chased away all the people who were senior to him when he was in the service, therefore crippling the capacity of that service and making it dysfunctional. 3 directors were chased away and reassigned to desk jobs in ministries across government. 13 assistant directors, men and women with proven track record of intelligence collection and analysis, were removed from the National Intelligence Service, leaving a shell under a clueless Director General who has no capacity to run the organization. And that is why the security sector was caught off guard by the intensity, the anger of the Kenyan people, the agitation of the Kenyan people, the resilience of the Kenyan people. Had Nuruddin Haji done his job, we will not be where we are today. He has no capacity. He is out of the country most of the time on business trips. The country is on its own. My boss, President William Ruto, is exposed. That he has to back down and admit that he has hurt the people of Kenya. Yet this matter has been in public domain for the last 2 months. I want to say that Nuruddin Haji must take responsibility for the deaths that occurred. He must take responsibility for the mayhem. He must take responsibility for failing President William Ruto. He must take responsibility for failing the government of the Republic of Kenya. He must take responsibility for failing the Kenyan nation by not doing his job and advising correctly. And he must do the honorable thing, not just take responsibility, but resign from that office and allow the president to pick a competent Director General. I want to request President William Ruto to consider, as a matter of urgency, to recall the 3 directors who are removed from the service and the 13 assistant directors to come and help reconstruct the service and get sanity back to the National Intelligence Service to serve the president, the government, and the people of Kenya. President William Ruto deserves better. He deserves a Director General who knows what he's doing. He deserves a National Intelligence Service that is effective and that can analyze situations and keep him and the government informed on what is going on. It is embarrassing to me as
out of all this mess, we have witnessed death of innocent Kenyans which could be avoided. Kenyans are now not only demanding for rejection of bill but also an overhaul of country top leadership including President Ruto. The most firebrand and outspoken lawyer Miguna has joined Kenyans in mourning the death of 29-year-old Rex Kanyiki Masai, who was allegedly shot dead by a rogue police officer during the anti-finance bill 2024 protests.
A short response to William Ruto. Mr. William Ruto, Kenyans have rejected you. They have rejected you in their millions. They have rejected you from Mandera to Mombasa, from Kisumu to Kakamega to Busia to Turkana. They have rejected you in Nairobi and all the cities and towns and villages of Kenya. This is not a small thing, and it is not something that has happened before. Kenyans of all generations, all ages, have rejected you, William Ruto. It is not just the Gen Zs. It is not just the millennials. It is not the so-called criminals that, quote, infiltrated the protests. The protests that have been taking place in Kenya, from coast to coast, from north to south, east to west, have been peaceful and have been led by well-educated, articulate, focused, and disciplined Kenyans. They made a very simple demand that you should have met. They say, withdraw Finance Bill 2024. You could have done that last week. You ought not to have tabled it in Parliament, because this is an alien anti-people bill, which was drafted by the IMF and the World Bank in Washington. It's not our bill. Kenyans are taxed to death. You've turned Kenya into an outlier state that kneels before the Western world. You thought you could loot Kenya, just like your predecessors have done. And we have said no. Listen to us. And we are not begging. We are making demands. And we are saying, if you don't withdraw Finance Bill 2024, and if you don't resign, we will remove you from power.
Maguna condemned the police for using lethal force on unarmed protesters exercising their democratic rights. He warned that Rex's death must not be in vain and called for justice with the hashtag. The situation has sparked discussions about the need for change and accountability in the nation. This tragic incident highlights the importance of peaceful protests and the impact they can have on society.
Lawyer Maguna has been quite vocal about the Finance Bill 2023. In a recent message, he advised President William Ruto to withdraw the contentious bill and also postpone the implementation of the housing levy. Maguna emphasized that Ruto should listen to Kenyans and address more pressing issues like the high cost of living and corruption before proposing new taxations. His bold stance underscores the importance of public dialogue and accountability in shaping policies. We have come to an end of this video. Please subscribe. Thank you so much. Let's meet on our next video. Good luck.